There you go. All right.
The claim I will be responding to is that alternative energies like wind and solar energy have a negative effect on the environment and people. The secondary claims were that alternative energies have a negative effect on the land, on the living environment, and on the health of people due to the manufacturing process of the solar panels. I will talk about how there's no effect on the land, no negative effect on the land, how there is, how it does not complicate the housing areas or the environment, but instead provides for us in our environment, and I will conclude with the effect on the health. These wind and solar farms can take up a lot of space, yes. So it's a good thing that we do have a lot of unused land. On 140 acres of unused land, according to the Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada, 70,000 solar panels are part of the solar photovoltaic array that will generate 15 megawatts of solar power for the base. Also, according to the NBC News on the Environment website, there is nearly 3/4 of 40 million acres of public land right outside Alaska, currently leased for oil and gas, but it's not producing any oil or gas now. So that would be perfect land for these solar and wind farms. Same thing goes for 80% of the land in Wyoming, 83% in Montana, 77% in Utah. So we have the land. The land is not the problem. So this brings me to my next topic on how alternative energies don't necessarily complicate the housing areas because of all this land that is away from people and it's not being used at all. So this land can be used for that. And for the environment, according to the Green Savvy website, burning coal and oil and manufacturing energy through nuclear fission all causes large amounts of air pollution and other waste. This results in numerous environmental dangers, but according to the Environmental Protection Agency, solar and wind energy produces no CO2 emissions and no waste byproducts, making them safe for the environment. And the fact that wind power is unlimited goes hand in hand with the fact that it can be regulated. For most of our electricity, we burn coal, and for most of our portable energy needs, we burn oil. Both of these energy sources are finite and will eventually run out at some point in time. But wind energy will never run out because it's constantly being recycled by the earth. And solar energy is renewable energy that uses the light and heat from the sun. Another plus would be that there would be no way for the government to regulate, tax, or make money off of this energy because we're generating it ourselves and there would be no way for them to measure it. So much of our energy, especially oil, is produced in other countries and directly imported. And wind power is completely a domestic power that creates and promotes a more sustainable country. The cost of living is getting higher, the demand for power is increasing, the population is growing fast, and we need to start saving power. Switching to a solar and wind power means reduction in noise pollution as well, according to those who live next to one of the largest U.S. wind farms, the Horizon Energy Twin Groves Farm in Bloomington, Illinois. They said they are relatively silent compared to oil rigs and refineries. Another great benefit that these alternative energies will have on the environment of the people living here in the United States is that the transition to solar and wind energy means employment opportunities. Creating these solar and wind farms, manufacturing them, installing and maintaining these systems are all job-producing activities. And these won't complicate housing areas or the environment, but it will help people by providing potential jobs. And this brings me to my final topic on that. These alternative energies have no greater effect on the health of people. The manufacturing process of these solar panels does deal with a chemical called cadmium telluride. It is used because of its high desirable chemical and physical properties. It has a high resistance to corrosion and chemicals, and it is an excellent electrical conductive. This chemical can be dangerous to handle, which is why it would be critical to take the proper preventative measures when dealing with it. But again, there are a lot of other harmful chemicals that we use every day. Our household cleaning products that contain ammonia, which can affect the eye and respiratory passageways, and aluminum, which is found in our cookware and in our food and our antiperspirants. So there's a lot of chemicals out there that are harmful for us. So there's no greater risk when talking about these solar panels. So in conclusion, alternative energies has no negative effect on our land or the environment, and no greater health risk. Scientists say that it is a great way to reduce our carbon footprint.
All right, the signposting started off pretty well, but I think about right after your first point, it broke down a little bit and material just started running together. You clarified it a little bit more when you got to your last point about the economic benefits, so you want to be careful and make sure that you have distinct claims there, because sometimes the information just sort of filtered into the next piece of information. You don't really challenge the grounds or the warrants that the advocate presented, so it's hard to contrast the arguments. Most of your arguments are counterclaims, and sometimes they have some evidence or some information to go with them. Sometimes they don't, but sometimes there's an additional question. For example, I saw two spots that immediately provoked questions on my part. You mentioned all of the areas that are available, and you mentioned how much federal lands there are in all these places, like in Alaska, and you had whatever it was, 40 million acres and such. And I'm thinking, well, I'm not sure how well a solar plant would do in Alaska, and I don't know what the wind situation is like up there. The solar plant I know would be a little bit problematic. The wind farms, for instance, you need to find some evidence that there are places where that would in fact be able to harvest enough wind up there to make it practical. Not just that the land is available, but the land has to be in particular places where harvesting of those energies is appropriate. But you've got the right idea here to minimize the notion about the amount of land that's going to be dealt with. Like I said, there's not really any analysis of the advocate's evidence on this point, just the counterclaim there. Oh, the second place where I thought there was a little bit of a question, because there seems to be an assumption made there, and that's where the people living next to the wind farm say it's relatively quiet compared to what oil rigs and refineries would be like. I'm not sure that they would be located in the same places, so there's a big assumption built in there. And again, the evidence from the advocate is not being contrasted on this particular point, so you need to do a little bit more of that. I thought that your last point on the chemical issue, it tends to diminish that risk. But again, I don't remember what the advocate's information on the risk was. So this is kind of an effective press 2 weeks later. If we were in the argument at the time, I'm not sure that it would stand up very well, but it'll probably raise some doubt as people are thinking right now. All right, thank you all very much. I really do